Rachel Kay, a joy to have you on our Little Chap's Big Story series. Thank you for this, and a slightly longer intro for you, because we've been doing a lot of vlogs and writing lately around building communities. And certainly for people who are wanting to be successful on YouTube and to build an audience, it's about building a community and a tribe. And I think with what you and the guys at Love Local do, which we can reveal in a second, from assuming everyone knows what you do, but that's how I know you build amazing communities that people want to be part of. Is that a fair intro? And if so, please run with it and tell everyone what it is that you do.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me. I think it is a fair intro. I've been running networking and expo events for about 10 years now, and it's always been about bringing businesses together and seeing the impact they can have when they get together, collaborate, use each other's services, recommend each other, and really sort of help the community itself grow stronger. So yeah, it's all about that. It's all about celebrating what makes us business people and helping each other, really.
Do you think there will always be, as human beings, this need to get into a room with other businesses and, find out what people do, look for opportunities, share sob stories, whatever we do? And perhaps that's from my, experience. But, is that, I think, the crux of what it is, why people love what you do?
I think it is. Live meetings are so important. I mean, you can have plenty of meetings on the computer. Yeah, it saves time, it saves energy, environment even. But it's nothing like getting in a room with somebody and actually having a bit of banter with somebody. And your conversations go away from business, and that's when it's exciting. That's when the relationships are building. And you get so much out of that. So I've been to thousands of events over the years. I've been to seminars, workshops, networking, anything. And every single event, there's either been a person I've met, or they've introduced me to somebody else, or there's a nugget, like a golden nugget you take away, or a signposting. So there's always something in there, and you cannot get that from meeting somebody online, and you just can't deepen that relationship.
Yeah. And do you think it's almost vital for our, I don't want to get too deep and say survival as a species, but that we have opportunities, and like the events that you put on, rather than just saying, look, tech can cover it all. So because they're getting in the car, the time, that side of things, that it's a lot more effort, if you like, to go to an event than to do even what we're doing now and just turn on a webcam. But do you think, I feel that there's a danger we'll lose a big part of what's wonderful about being in business if we stop having live events.
I completely agree. You can't spark off people online. You just can't. And we are social creatures, generally and historically, we're social creatures. We come together. We love telling stories. We love sharing. And one of the things I think is amazing about networking, and people sometimes overlook, is it's about not reinventing the wheel. Because there's people out there, they might even be just down the road from you that you've never met before, businesses who've been there, done that, solved the challenge. And if you share that information, or maybe you have, and you can share that with others, and it's just an amazing way to learn and a way to be signposted as well. I was saying earlier that sometimes I've been signposted to places, maybe to funding, maybe to other seminars, workshops, people, anything. And that really doesn't happen. It might happen slightly if you're meeting one person online, or if you're in some sort of group on Zoom, and then but you can't have the banter. You can't have free-flowing conversation, because it's always like two people talking at once. Oh yeah, sorry, you go on, and it just doesn't work. So yes, I think live events, we are still going to need them going forward.
Right. So how did you get into to doing this and having this absolute passion and inspiration for? I don't want to say just networking, because that sounds like I'm dumbing down what you do, but for, I think you're a master of your craft. So where does that come from?
Oh, thank you. Well, randomly, it comes from various places. So I've always been interested in events. So way back when, I was an analyst programmer and then project manager for a financial services company. And even then, they were talking year 2000 stuff. I am that old. But even then, I was kind of looking around the office and people getting very demotivated. And I said, how about running something to look forward to? This is February. I said, how about a summer barbecue? And they're like, yeah, all right, you can organise it and run it. It's like, oh, all right then, fine. So that was the start of my kind of events career. and it's gone in and out. But 10 years ago, I moved back up north and family reasons. I was down south, I was in Bath. So I moved back up north and I devised and built a gift voucher service for independent retailers. So that was 10 years ago. So I had a pilot, I ran it for a year. At the same time, Amazon and eBay were doing vouchers. So everyone loved my gift vouchers, love local vouchers. Everybody loved that. And they said, oh, that's brilliant. We'll come on board as a shop because you could spend it in any independent retailer, any participating one. I think I had about 30 odd over locally. But nobody was buying the vouchers. Some people did. But they weren't buying them in enough volume. So after a year, I kind of thought, right, I either put more money into this or I draw a line under it because market's not ready. And what do I do then? And at the same time, a couple of ladies that ran Ribble Valley Networking and Pendle Networking said they wanted to come out of it and did I want Pendle, which there was only a few people going to at the time, probably about 12, something like that, regulars. I was one of them. So I took that on. But at that point, I had a big database of people I'd met, and I was networking and promoted. So then I started running Pendle. Then the contacts kind of over in Aki Blackburn said, oh, can we have this as well? It's brilliant. So I said, yeah, of course. So I did that. And then I was looking at expos. So I was going to expos and I thought, I can do that. And we'll have seminars and people can learn from it. And then they can build a business and come together and, as you say, kind of build a community. So I started doing that. And then I've got a sort of history of holistic therapy as well. I'm a qualified holistic therapist. I'm a kinesiologist and a Reiki master. And an NLP master practitioner. So I've got lots of skills. And I thought, well, I can draw on those and I can train people as well. So I'm training in resilience and communication skills and in networking. And because it's about everything. It's about how you relate to people, what you do, and how you think about networking as well. You need to plan for it. So it's kind of organic, Rob. So it kind of came from the networking. It went into the expos, went into the training. And then I got on the volunteer team of the awards, so Hybrid Business Awards, Ribble Valley Business Awards. And then that, I was on there until 2022. Rob retired, who was running those, and I took them over. So that's kind of a potted history, but that's how I got into everything that I do.
I've got a question now. This relates back to an early conversation when we first met at one of our events, and my perception of the word local was almost negative, and I think you may remember, maybe you finally stopped crying about this, but I came to you and said, I heard this word local and I was expecting a few businesses in a little church and we'll go along and see, and I was like, wow, there are businesses, there are national brands here. What's your take on the word local, and what do you find it means different things to different people?
Yes, it's interesting because that conversation with you, Rob, was the first time I'd thought of not exactly negative connotations with it, but twee village connotations almost. So to me, local does mean community. Local means supporting where you live, so where you play, where you work, whatever. It means it's all about helping each other out. So that's where the name came from. Love Local Network and Love Local Expo. But it was it was a real eye opener, to be honest. And I was really glad we'd had the conversation. Because at first I was a bit, oh crikey, oh dear, how did people? I thought, is that some people's perception? I thought, well, obviously it is, because what makes people tick is if one person is thinking something and shares it with you, they're not going to be the only one.
Right.
So then I was kind of looking at things and thinking, okay, with our marketing, we need to be a bit less local, if you get me, but a bit more kind of inclusive, and this is what we're about, and getting beyond local, but still keeping it community based. The
feedback that you get, again, because anyone who's been to your events will know this, but you have got startups, you've got the people growing successful businesses, and you've got some huge brands there. And when you talk to them, what is it within their sort of strategies that say, we want to go to this, local event or local expo? Because they're obviously getting things out of it. Is it different things to different people or different businesses?
I think it is, but because of how we market it, we get friendly, community-oriented businesses. So that's why they're there. I mean, it's like yourselves, Big Tank are wonderful. You're supportive of what we do. You're supportive of lots of other businesses. And I know businesses are supportive of you because, what goes around comes around. But it's very much that they want to come and be part of something that is on locally. And obviously they must get something out of it, and they do. We ask, got happy sheets, and we follow people up afterwards. But yeah, it's about being part of something. So the national brand, as you were saying, so we do kind of have that, but it's people who are based in Lancashire, because that's one of our USPs for the expo, that all the exhibitors have to be based in Lancashire. Because I've been to various expos in the past and exhibited at expos, and there've been people from all over the country. So it might be somebody from Glasgow next to somebody from, I don't know, Birmingham or whatever. But they're not interested in each other at all. Yeah. So they don't talk to each other, they don't network, there's no community feel.
They're just there to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. And for the expo, for the networking events, I say because of the sort of disorder and the ethos behind it, we'll only attract people that want to be kind of part of that tribe, part of that community. So people talking to each other, they're looking out for each other and opportunities for each other, and I encourage that as well. But it's because they want to be part of that.
Yeah. Who's inspired you on your journey?
I was thinking about that, Rob. So if I'm not giving too much away, you ask a few questions beforehand and we get to think about things. But I couldn't really name specific people. There's been so many. It's a bit like a sort of cast of thousands. I was saying earlier about going to events and getting top tips or nuggets or things. But there's been various people over the years that I've had maybe just throwaway conversations with, and they just mention something. Oh, I read this book, or I did this course, or just something, or I have this little saying that goes X, and you just think, yes, that. And I'm a big believer in that you kind of meet people or come across things at the right time for you.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it might be years, in fact, before something becomes kind of relevant, but you remember and you think, actually, you know what? Such what he recommended that, I'm ready for that now. So there's been so many people, and I've been really lucky, because I work with some incredible people, including yourselves. Yeah. But I love collaboration, and I think that is the key to a successful business, really. So I couldn't specifically name anybody, but I get the smiliness and the wonder every day from Mum. She was a big inspiration when she was with us.
Lovely to hear. Yeah, thank you. Mum's all over, and mine too, sadly no longer with us, but a big inspiration. So last question, Rachel, and we do this at the end of all our little chats, big stories. It's the elevator pitch, or the chat in the lift, as we say in Lancashire. Someone gets in the lift, they see, oh, Rachel, you run all these networking events and things, and I'm starting a business, or I'm growing a business, or I've got these challenges. Rachel, give me one bit of advice that I can take with me on life's journey to ease the bumps. What would your one nugget be?
My main nugget is kind of harking back to earlier in our conversation, but it is get out there and talk to people and don't reinvent the wheel. Because generally people have been there, done it, they can help you. There's no point struggling on yourself or thinking, yeah, I can do this myself. Oh, yeah, I'll read all these books, I'll do all this, I'll do that. Pick up the phone, have a chat, go to an event, meet somebody. They'll be able to help you. And then further down the line, look at giving that back as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Rachel, fantastic to chat to you, and glad to see you looking well, happy, and probably focused on Love Local 2024. What's the date for that one, and what do people? Well, everyone should attend, but what do we need to do to sign up for that one?
Well, yeah, it's 24th of April 2024. Same place, Impact Conference in Burnley. It's free to visit, so we'll have 50 odd exhibitors to come and meet. We'll have 5 seminars and speed networking as well. So all the information is at lovelocalexpo.co.uk. I think we've sold 20 stands so far, so we've got around 30 left.
Lovely. Thanks so much for chatting to us, Rachel. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Lovely. Thank you very much for the invitation.
No.